Welcome, everyone. Today we're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team Tom Brady took to the Super Bowl. All right. So, in the previous video, part one, we spoke about, maybe taking Darius Toney if he were to fall in the first round, but Tampa Bay has a lot of weapons. So, I took another look at the draft board. But before we get to that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed Giovanni Bernard, a receiving back with a good burst, elusiveness, vision. Just another back in the backfield that has experience and production. I'm not saying he's the best back in the NFL. He's going to be buried in the depth chart behind Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, but definitely someone who could, and maybe he might even be behind Vaughn, the rookie running back from a year ago. But still a good running back to have on the team. Does have some punt return and kick return experience. Okay, so diving into the draft, they've got a lot of weapons. The only thing I see is maybe a little bit of O-line protecting Tom Brady a little bit better. You got Tristan Wirfs last year in the first round. Very good right tackle. You re-signed your left tackle to an extension. But do you get someone this year who is going to be the future at left tackle? And really, if it was me, I would probably work on moving Tristan Wirfs over the left side, maybe give him some reps, to give him the feel, and draft another right tackle this year moving forward. Not in the first round. Maybe, just maybe, in the second. Because we've signed Tom Brady to an extension, so we got to keep him healthy. He's not getting any younger. We've got to keep Tom Brady healthy. Or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go with defense. And if they were to come across a Zaven Collins in the first round, if he was available at 32, I think Zaven Collins would be extreme. He can play outside linebacker. He can play middle linebacker. He can put his hand in the dirt. He is a highly instinctive and highly versatile player, and he is explosive. He's out of Tulsa, I know, but he's 6'4", 260 pounds, and he jumps off the map. When you look at his game footage, and I'm not just talking highlights, you go back and watch the Tulsa games, he makes an impact, and it's visible, and it doesn't take him long to be noticed. In this, or would you go with somebody like Greg Newsome if he were to still be available? He's projected the 33rd ranked player on the board, cornerback at a Northwestern. He's got the bloodline. I mean, that doesn't mean that he'll be his father, but his father did play in the NFL. But he showed some excellent playmaking ability, good ball skills, high points. The ball in the air, plays a little bit like a receiver from the cornerback spot. Feels like Mr. Newsome feels like he has just as much right to the football as the wide receiver, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Somebody that'll challenge the receiver and drive on that ball. And, I mean, he is a ball hawk. In the second round, I think, right tackle would be hard to pass on. Very hard to pass on. And especially if, the right player were to fall into that spot. Like Jackson Carman out of Clemson, 6'5", 345 pounds. With injuries being an issue in the NFL, depth on the offensive line, and it is excessively important. And if you went defense in the first round, would you add a weapon in the second? It's always good to have depth at your wide receiver spot. anything could happen. You don't want one injury to define your season. And like a Dylan Wallace out of Oklahoma State, good route runner, possession receiver, good speed. He runs between a 4.45 and a 4.5 40. Good speed, not great, but he's productive. He's a solid. He's a high IQ football player. Okay, and he really his catch to run ratio is very good. His acceleration while he catches and turns upfield is very, very good. Or a Trey Smith. Could you beef up the depth of the interior line? Or would you continue your pass rusher pursuit with somebody that, during the season, he got some accolades. He fell off a little bit. How about Patrick Jones II, edge rusher, 6'5", 264 pounds out of Pittsburgh, a school that specializes and produces defensive linemen? Someone of late, Aaron Donald. Patrick Jones II has excellent burst, good strength at the point of attack, and makes plays. Bottom line, he makes plays, never gives up, good motor. Everything you would want in a player. A lot of speculation during the college season if Patrick Jones would be a first-round draft pick. He's currently the 69th ranked player on the board. Very, very solid coming off the edge. And if you get him at the bottom of the second round, that is just, in my book, unbelievable. I don't think he'll still be there, but if he is, could you imagine? With JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, he is still a very good football player. But, age is a factor, over the next 2 years. Do you just want to win a Super Bowl again this year? Or do you want to contend over the next 3 years? And that's really what we're talking about here. Another edge rusher that could be there is Quincy Roche. At the Senior Bowl, looked phenomenal. Showed explosiveness off the line above that of his competitors on the offensive line. So looked very, very good. Great Senior Bowl week. Another name to pay attention to at the bottom of the second round. Now, moving on into the third, you could take a look at Chaz Surratt, undersized linebacker, excellent speed, plays in the middle. I know you got Devin White, but depth to repeat in the Super Bowl, depth on defense, offensive line, wide receivers, extremely, in all positions, as many positions as you can get, depth is extremely important. And Chaz Surratt, I could definitely see him being able to step in for 2, maybe 3 games. He's 6'2", 227 pounds. He's a little bit undersized, but he does have a frame that he could still grow into. I don't think he's done growing yet. I think he will, like all players out of college, they're going to continue to get bigger. They're going to work out with NFL trainers, and they will get stronger. But his potential ceiling is a Pro Bowler someday. His instincts are off the charts. If he was 240 pounds, I really believe he would be a high second to low first round draft pick. We would be talking about him on a whole nother standard. And now, an interesting thing, why I didn't say a lot of interior defensive linemen, is because they re-signed, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-signed Steve McClendon to a 1-year contract. Coming off the bench, He played for previously Pittsburgh and the New York Jets, and not a great player, but very good. He's active, and coming off the bench, he really did a good job for Tampa Bay last year in a trade coming over from the Jets. Um, valuable, valuable depth position player. So I don't know, with a proven veteran as a depth, I don't know if you're really going to draft a rookie. So, as far as interior D lineman, I'm not sure, in the top 3 rounds, if they're really going to invest that kind of equity. I could definitely see it in the offensive line and the edge or the corner spot. You can never have enough pass rushers. You can never have enough cover guys. You can never have enough wide receivers or all linemen. That's just the name of the game. Especially with how injuries go, it's extremely important to have depth. And I know most of this video was about depth, but I really wanted to explain why in the second and third round, the direction that I would look if I was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the direction that I really expect the team to take. Thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate everybody viewing, and be sure to join me on the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for subscribing. Have a great day.